This is Steve Schiffman, and I want to thank you very much for joining me today and every day that you do to hear our webcast, podcast about different things that affect sales. You know, one of the things that I promised you a long time ago, I would never take more than 5-6 minutes of your time. This is not a podcast that takes 45 minutes for you to listen and hear 45 different people tell you how they're successful and you're not. This is a podcast about you and things that you can do to be more successful every single day, whether you're a manager or whether you're a salesperson. And I think those two jobs, manager or salesperson, are the most difficult because whatever people tell you, inevitably, it doesn't work quite that way because you're meeting people that are trying to buy from you, maybe, or they have a product like yours, maybe, or they're not interested, maybe, and all that has to be handled in order for you to gain a customer. And you gain the customer, you get a commission. It's hard. It's hard every day to do that. I'm working with people on a regular basis. As you know, I coach individual salespeople as well as companies. And they tell me that it's difficult now to get appointments because they don't know how to do it. You can't call on Zoom and get an appointment. You can't do that. You've got to make a telephone call, which sets up the appointment. And many times, maybe more than a third of the people don't show at the set time. So I can't deal with that nonsense today. You and I both have to get appointments. And so I keep going, and I'm sure you do too. If you expect to be successful in sales, you've got to call. You're going to be successful in sales, you've got to be consistent and persistent, which I talked about last week. But I want to talk about something different, totally different today. Maybe something you haven't thought about. But if you look at the screen, and if you're not looking at it, you're hearing me, you notice that behind me are some statues. Well, there's a horse, and there's a lion or a tiger, and then there's Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill is right here. And if you see Winston Churchill, you've got to say, why would a guy put that up? Because I've got a number of statues of Winston Churchill, a number of busts of Winston Churchill. I've got a number of busts of other people too. But he is, by my definition, one of, if not the greatest leader that the world has ever seen. And he was very difficult. He was a man that put or would not have anybody play against him. He was going to win. And in fact, when the Germans started the war, he said, we will prevail, which he did. Although I must tell you, if you read anything about him, you know that it wasn't easy for him, for the British, for the English, us, Americans, or anybody else that was in the war. It was a difficult war. But Winston Churchill had one thing that really made him successful. His absolute belief in what he was doing. He believed in what he was doing was right. Not that I can say to you that every single thing is right. Like he believed in colonies, which probably weren't right. But eventually he compromised. The point that I want to make is you need to be definitively dedicated to what you're doing. I think the dedication that you have to your job, being a salesperson, is the single most important attribute. And if you think today this is motivational, well, then think it's motivational because that's what I want to do. You see, there's only one reason you're not successful, and that's you. Oh, that's a terrible statement, Steve. You can't say that, but I can. See, the only reason you're not successful is you. You can be as successful as you want to be. You just have to say, I'm going to do it. Are you doing that? For example, simple thing. Have you written down your goals for next year? Have you taken a piece of paper and said, okay, this is what I want to accomplish? And there are no more than 3 or 4. Don't put 47 things down because you don't do that. It doesn't work. I told you that every year, my wife Ann and I sit down and we take a piece of paper and we write down the major things that we want to accomplish for the year. There's only 3 or 4 things. I mean, it's not like we're going to count and climb Mount Everest. That's not a goal. That's like fantasy land. And if you're going to do it, that's fantasy land. But there are things you need to do. And we write them down. This is how much money. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to spend. We did that. We've done that for a long time. Then we put that up and we look at it on a regular basis because it's there. And as we accomplish those goals, we check them off across the mount. But the key is not writing the goal. It seems to be, isn't it? Doesn't it? It's the fact that she and I work together to get to that goal. We work together to establish what it is that we want. That's the key. It's the teamwork. If you've ever been in the military, you know that the reason the military works, the reason the team works, is for the team. In other words, they don't really fight the enemy. They're protecting themselves. The team works. That's why. Now, sales is not a team sport. Can't be. Can't be. Oh, you're all going to work together. No, I know you don't. You've got to go out and generate your own income, and you got to make your own money, and you've got to be the salesperson you are. But the advice that you get, the help that you get from your managers, from your colleagues, from other people, totally from me, will help you. Work together. Get ideas from somebody. Get ideas. What do I do next? Ask that question, but find a mentor, find someone who knows the answer or can at least help you think through the answer. So what do we got today? 1, you're going to set up some goals for yourself. 2, Winston Churchill was great. And 3, you are great. You are as great as you want to be. Whoever you want to be, you can be. It's simply up to you. Yes, I get excited. I get excited by what I do. I've been doing it a long time. I've met a lot of people. Today, I coach an individual today who started out in a franchise situation, and I didn't know if he's going to make it. And you know what? He is making it. He really is. It's incredible. He's got appointments and he's doing things. He's starting to make sales, and it's starting to make sense to him. It's great. That's like the greatest thing that can happen to me. I want you to give me a call. If you'd like to, 646-341-6947. That's 646-341-6947. Or you can reach me at sschiffman, steveschiffman.com, or just go to the website and it'll connect you. But reach out, call me, let me know what's going on, especially if what I'm saying strikes a chord. If it strikes a chord in your head that says, maybe I should listen to somebody, then I can help you. If you're open to it. Now you see that jacket on this side, see over here. The jacket behind my head. I'll do this. See that? That was given to me by a university for mentoring. I had won a prize as being the #1 mentor, believe it or not, for a year. And they gave me this beautiful leather jacket. And I wear it, especially when it's cold. I wear the jacket. If you need a mentor, if you need someone to help you, whether you want it to be virtual, whether you want it to be in person, whatever, let me know. And I'll be glad to help you. If you want a book of mine, go to Amazon and look at the books. There's a book there for you and probably everybody else you know. I've written 70 books. I've been in 43 different countries. Hey, join me. Let's succeed together. We can do that. You know you can do that. You know you have the skills necessary to be successful. All right, so this is Steve Schiffman. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I will see you again. And as always, you humble me by your presence. Do you want to be successful in sales? Or are you putting it off? Do you kind of say, I don't want to make those calls, because if I do, it won't really work? Do you kind of procrastinate when it comes to that? You don't need to anymore. We're going to give you a book, the book on how to get appointments. I've written it 35 years ago, and it's still around. It's been in different editions for the last 30 years. It sold over 2 million copies. And it's been in different languages. And I've been in 43 different countries training cold calling techniques that really work. Here's your opportunity. So take advantage of it. It won't last long. Just follow the directions below. And good selling. Thanks.